Hello everyone, my name is Behruz. Welcome back to another General English video. Today we are going to work on Unit 10. So let's turn to page 17. So here we are. The title of this unit is He Lied to Me. The conversation, like always, at the beginning of every unit, every new unit, we have a conversation. The story of a murder continues. If you remember the previous story, here is the rest. Complete the conversation and practice. Story of a murder, part 2. So, the police officer is still trying to find the murderer. So, the police officer starts. Excuse me, ma'am, where were you yesterday? The lady says, I was at home. I finished my book last night and I cooked for my neighbor, Mr. Anderson. He was at home at 9. The police officer, oh, I see, but he wasn't. He had dinner in a restaurant. The lady says, no, he didn't. He didn't, dear. He was here and we chatted and we watched my favorite TV series together. Then he went home. Then his wife arrived. The police officer says, interesting. So he lied to me. He didn't say anything about his wife. The lady says, sorry. No, he didn't kill his wife. The police officer says, thank you for your help. So, the story of a murder continues to part 3, but here is the end of it. Okay, so in the story we have some verbs that they are different, like finished, like cooked, like had, like what else we have, didn't, like chatted, watched, went, arrived, lied, didn't say, didn't kill. So what are they? Today we are going to find out what they are. So grammar is about the simple past regular verbs. So we are not talking about am, is, are, or was, or were. We are talking about verbs like go, like watch, like cook, like kill. So but we are talking about the regular ones. I will explain later. Use the simple past when something started and finished in the past at a specific time in the past. So it means just like last night, this morning, last night, or last year, or last week. We are talking about the past. So we need to use the simple past. For example, I loved this movie when I was a kid. When I was a kid is a specific time in the past because we are talking about the past, so the main verb needs to be with this form that I will explain. Make regular verbs past by adding ed to the end of them. So, what is a regular verb? When a verb is regular, you need to add ed to the end of it to make it past. For example, live, lived, happen, happened, listen, listened. So, live, happen, and listen are in the present time. Lived, happened, and listened are in the past time. Okay, let's go down to the next page actually. For the spelling, we have live and listen. You just have to add ed to the end of them. Lived and listen. Adding ed for finish and rain. Finished, rained. But sometimes, just like stop and just like ban, you need to double the consonant, like stopped with double P, banned with double N. Don't forget. And for bury and carry, when we have a consonant and Y, you need to make it IED, like buried and carried. Don't forget, when we have wife the story changes. For contractions, we have did not and didn't. So, did not, didn't. But what is it? So, when you want to make a past sentence negative, you need to use didn't. So, just like here, I didn't want to go out last night. So, look, didn't, and after didn't, you need to use verb 1. So, don't add ed after didn't. So, didn't want. So, you are talking about the past, and you are using didn't to make your sentence negative. Using did in a question, you need to use did in a question form. If it was present, we would use do or does, but here we are not talking about do or does. We are talking about the past actions, and we need to use did to make a sentence, to make a question actually. So did you played is wrong. When you use did, you should use verb 1. No s, no ed, no ing, nothing. Just like didn't. After didn't, verb 1. Let's go down. Yes, no questions with did. Did you watch TV last night? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. But you shouldn't say did you watched. Don't use ed after did or didn't. And for listen, did you listen to music? Yes, we did. No, we didn't. And did she look at you? Yes, she did. No, she didn't. So did, verb 1. Did, verb 1. Short answers, did, didn't. Didn't, didn't. For negative short answers, did and did. For affirmative short answers. WH questions with questions words what, where, and how. What did you do last night? I cleaned my room. So question word, did, subject, verb 1, time adverb. Again, question word, did, subject, verb, verb 1. Question word, did, you, you is the subject, and after that the verb. So I did it very easily. He relaxed in the garden, and I cleaned my room. We have some exercises here. Exercise 1, use the correct form of the verbs in the parentheses. So I need some money. I needed some money last night, and it has to be negative. So when we make it negative, this is how we make it negative. Let me write it here for you. I didn't. Where is this? Oh yeah, I cannot find it. Oh, I can't find. Didn't. I didn't need money last night. So be careful with this. With this didn't need, you need to make it negative, and because you're talking about the past, you need to use didn't. So after didn't, you need to use verb 1. So for number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5, you need to do it. So let's go down. And this is the same for number 6. Yesterday's show was boring. I, negative 4. And after that, the rest of the sentence. Exercise 2, correct the mistakes you see in the sentences below. Check if the sentence is correct. So intentionally, we have some mistakes in the sentences you see, and you need to find them and you need to correct them. This is your job. The first one, I wasn't studied Arabic this morning. No, we cannot make it negative using was or were. We should use didn't to make a sentence negative when the main verb is not the verb be. So we have played, love, need, talk, and do. For yesterday, it is impossible. So you need to make it right. Exercise 3, put the words in the correct order to form a sentence. So we are talking about last Monday. So I visited my uncle last Monday. So subject, verb, object, time adverb. This is the order. Sometimes you have to make questions, but here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no questions here, just a sentence. But in exercise 4, you need to make questions for the answers. So we have answers here, yes, no. You need to make yes, no questions in the past, so be careful. Next page. Okay, so this is not yes, no, so it has to be WH question, yes, no question, WH question, yes, no question, and yes, no questions. So you need to make questions for the past actions. Let's go for the vocabulary part. A list of common irregular verbs. Try to read the table and practice and memorize them. Look, for example, for the present time, for the present, we have be and was and were. Break, broke. Buy, bought. Catch, caught. So don't forget, they are the past form of the verbs. You need to memorize them, you need to practice, and you need to be careful with them. Here is the list of the most common irregular verbs, and you just have to practice, and practice in order to learn them completely. Okay, let's move on to Unit 10B, and the title is I Knew It. So, let me go to the previous page. Okay, let's find no, if we have it in the list. Let me see if we have it. Yes, no is here. So no is new for the past. But look at the title of this unit, I knew it. So it is talking about the past. So the reading part, the detective finally finds the murderer. Exercise 1, the story ends here. Read the text and match the verbs to their base forms. Detective is trying to solve the case. The suspect is lying to me. Why? Why? He wasn't in a restaurant. He was with the lady. He had his dinner with her. Then he met his wife. Maybe they had an argument. His wife was out, but when she came back, she died. The man killed his wife. I knew it. I need to call my boss to report it. They found the man and put him in prison later. So this is how the detective found the murderer and put him in prison. So here is an exercise. Was, be. Had, you need to find them here. So die, have, know, put, find, meet, be, come back, and kill. You just have to match the left column to the right column. That's very easy to do. It's nothing, there is nothing hard about it or difficult about it. So the simple past, we do, go, have, and get. So when the verb is a regular one, you just have to add ed to the end of it, like live, lived, listen, listened, or kill, killed. You just have to add ed to the end of them. But sometimes when the verb is, let me go down. Sometimes some verbs in English are called irregular or irregular verbs because they don't follow a rule for making them past. The form changes. For am and is, it is was. Are, were, go, went, do, did, get, got. Use did when you don't have the verb be to make a negative sentences or questions. This is what I explained before. I didn't do my homework, not I not do my homework. So you need to use didn't or did not for making a sentence negative. And to make a question, you need to use did at the beginning of the sentence to form a yes/no question. Did you get your tickets? Not get your tickets. When you use did in a negative sentence or question, use the main verb in the base form, which means verb 1. So exercise, not exercise, example, I didn't go to school this morning. Not I didn't went to school. Did, go. Did, do. Did, have. So don't use verb to after did or didn't. Here we have an exercise. Hideo was very busy last week. Now he is telling us what he did last week. Read the text and correct the mistakes. We have 7 mistakes here, so I'm not going to read this for you because if I read it, you can find the mistakes. So read the text and find the mistakes and write the correct answers in the special places for them. So there are 7 mistakes in this text. This is your job to find the mistakes. Exercise 3, use the correct form of the verbs to complete the sentences. So negative, affirmative, affirmative, question, question, negative. So for the first one, I didn't like the show last night. The main verb is like. It is negative. We need to use didn't. So didn't like, verb 1. And you need to do 2 to 6. Let's go for exercise 4. Make questions in order to complete the dialogues. So we have answers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 different answers, and you need to make 6 different questions. Sometimes yes, no, sometimes WH questions, because sometimes we have yes, no answers, but here we don't have yes, no questions. So you need to make WH questions with where, how, what, and what time. The first one, the answer is, I just got a book. So, what did you get last night? I just got a book. So you need to complete the conversations here, the dialogues. Here is a vocabulary part. Physical actions are the actions we do by our hands or by our body. So exercise 5, match the physical actions with the pictures. For example, we have go for a walk, go for a run, hold hands, laugh, play video games, give a gift, drink water, talk to a friend, and eat a sandwich. So you need to match the words, the expressions here with the pictures below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 different pictures and 9 different physical actions. So you just have to match them. And yes, that's it. That was the end of Unit 10. So we talked about the past, simple past tense. And don't forget to do the exercises. Don't forget to practice. Don't forget to study and memorize the irregular verbs. They are very important, and practice makes perfect. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and see you next time.